There's a few different ways that we can administer lessons on our station, so let's take a look at those right now. The first place that you'll want to take note of is your lesson calendar. Now, what your lesson calendar will show you is, by default, it gives you a daily glance of what lessons have been booked on your station that are coinciding with today's date. But you can also go to the month, and we can see we had no lessons for today, but on the 26th we have a lesson. So you can go into that day, and you can see on the 26th we have a lesson that's been booked on our station, and that lesson's from 8 to 8:45. It's with this student, and it's been made with a spot payment, which is cash, which means spot payment means they will pay you on the spot of the lesson. So you can also go back and look at future months to get an idea of what lessons are coming up in June and who's booked those lessons and what payment method they've made those. So this is one place you're going to want to become familiar with, so you can see who's booked your lessons on what days and how they've paid you. Another place you're going to want to look into administering your lessons is you can keep track of your orders. So to view your orders, you'll simply see who's booked lessons, what kind of lesson they are, what content type, which is lesson type, if they're adult private lesson, junior lesson, the payment method that they've chosen, either spot payment, which is cash, or site payment, which means they've paid through PayPal. And we can see this site payment is for a package, so while the others have been completed, this one still is in checkout. So the money has been transferred to you through your PayPal account, so you've received the money for this package. But it's good to note that it's going to be listed as in checkout until all of the lessons in that package have been booked. Now we can also go to viewing our package buyers, and if you haven't gone to see the video on how to set up a lesson package on your station, I encourage you to do so you kind of have an idea of what we're talking about. So if you view your package buyers, which is another place to administer lessons, we can see that this golfer, test golfer here in this case, has bought our spring package, and we can see that that lesson package had a total of 6 lessons, and they have booked 3 so far. So, and if you had more lesson package buyers, they'd be listed here. Currently we only have the one, but this view package buyers is going to be another place that you're going to want to go and become familiar with to be able to administer lessons and keep track of who's purchased what and who's purchased lesson packages and how many lesson packages they have remaining. Now the fourth and final thing I want to show you about administering lessons is how to delete a lesson one at a time, and how to delete a group of lessons or unpublish those lessons. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go to our lesson calendar and we'll see how we delete lessons. So here we see we have a bunch of lessons. If we wanted to delete a lesson, we would just simply go into the lesson, and we see an edit tab because we're the station owner and we produce these lessons. So golfers will not have this choice, but you will. So we go in here to edit, and we see here we can delete this lesson. Okay, so here this lesson is on the 10th at 9 a.m. So if we go ahead and delete that lesson, say something came up and we're not going to be able to make that time commitment or have people schedule themselves, it'll ask you to make sure that you're certain you want to do this action, and it'll delete it, and it tells you so. So if we go back to the calendar, we can see that lesson is no longer there. Now what if you wanted to delete, say, a whole weekend or whole week? Say something came up and you're not going to be able to make this whole week of lessons. Well, we can go to this menu item called Tracks, and what this is it keeps track of everything that we publish, whether it's a tip video, a blog, or lessons. So we could just simply go to look at the most current lessons. So we can see they're all here by date. So we can see that there's not only lesson content but also videos. So if you ever wanted to unpublish a blog entry and then republish it later, you could do that, or outright delete certain content that you've put up there. As far as blogs and videos, you could do that as well. So say we wanted to delete a group of lessons, we could simply just come in here, select these lessons, and then we could unpublish them, and it would leave these unpublished. And basically what it does is it just takes them down, and then we could put them back up later. So let's cancel that for now, so we want to leave them published. Or you could just come here and outright pick whatever lessons you want or whatever commitments you weren't going to make. We come in here and we just outright delete them and say, I am certain I'm not going to be here for these lesson dates, and I've created them, so I just want to go ahead and outright delete all these lesson dates. And we can see that it has deleted all of these lesson dates, and it's confirmed that for us. Alright, so that we've talked about 4 main areas where you can go and administer your lessons. We've talked about viewing your orders so that you can see who's made purchases, who's ordered certain lessons, how they've paid for those lessons. We can look at our package buyers, who's bought a package, how many lessons that package was, and then how many lessons of that package they've used. We can go to our lesson calendar and at a glance see the current day or any other subsequent day or month of lessons that have been booked on our station and purchased, so that we can prepare ourselves to know who's coming that day for lessons. And then we also looked at the tracks menu, where you can select multiple items and delete them or unpublish them and then republish them later if you choose. And that is administering lessons on your station.